Okay. Right. Hi everyone. Building on the themes, a lot of the points made this evening, I'm going to talk about tech inclusion and diversity at Tech Conference. I'm Andy, I've got some extra time, but there'll be a lot of slides if you want to tweet me, please do. You might have read that description. That's about right, professional geek. I run the Devops meetup in Leeds, and I've been involved in all sorts of other Devops meetups and community groups around for a while, so that's kind of what I do. Just to clear up the Sheffield thing, because there's been kind of like a bit of a Leeds Sheffield thing here. I am from Sheffield. Okay, yes. Yes, it's a nice city. I was born here. I lived here for a while, and I lived here with still the whole of the road, red gates, and bendy buses. I love to get back, it's great. So it's been a while. But I do spend a lot of my time in Sheffield, particularly on Saturday afternoons. I come back and watch one of the football teams and get angry and shout. I won't tell you which one, because I don't want to split the crowd. Yeah, I'll leave that one now. And a little disclaimer before I start on this, because it's been noted that middle-aged white men and diversity. Yeah, that. Okay, so I realise that to some people I may be seen as part of the problem. I'm trying to fix that. But if you want to hear any thoughts on that particular aspect, do tweet me or ask me later. Hopefully we'll cover many of them tonight. About 2 years ago, I got involved through my meetups and stuff with Tech Conference in London called DevOpsDays, which is where Devops people came from. And I was asked to get involved a bit more seriously and join the organising committee. So the first one I helped organise was last year, 2018, with this wonderful bunch of people. I say wonderful because between us, we've managed to create a fantastic tech conference, and we're doing the same this year. These are some of my favouriteest people on the planet, these people. I'm really proud of them, they're really smart. And in many ways, they're very similar to me. They're techies, or agile delivery leads. You know, we're engineers. We do this as a hobby, on a voluntary basis, it's not for profit. You know, none of us are professional event organisers, and we did amazing stuff. But in many ways, different. I'm a middle-aged white male. These people aren't. Okay, so very different backgrounds, very different to me. And I've been to a lot of tech conferences over the years, and I assume several people in the audience probably had. And yeah, it's a pretty male world in tech conferences. DevOpsDays, particularly DevOpsDays London, we're trying to do something a bit different. Bit of background on DevOpsDays. So, conferences, the first one was in Ghent in 2009, a conference about getting development teams and operation teams to work better together, to collaborate, not to squabble and fight, and to actually get good at running software. And it's been quite successful and popular, the event, and the whole DevOps movement. So, by 2018, we've got 60 events around the whole world from everywhere. I didn't even know Chattanooga was a place, but apparently it's got DevOpsDays. It is, but yeah, and I helped with the London one there. So, the format of DevOpsDays and the nature of DevOps events itself is it's collaborative, it's inclusive. So, first of all, there's only one track, not one of these multi-track conferences. So we have fixed talks in the morning, single track, then we have a few nights, which are fun, about lunchtime. And then in the afternoon, we do something called open spaces, which computer and agile conference you're familiar with. So the idea that an agenda for discussions is made by people at the conference, and then we all go away to small groups and discuss the topics. And that repeats for 2 days. Okay? So very collaborative nature. So if we want to start one of these conferences, we've got quite a list of things to do. We need somewhere to have it, we need some people to talk. These people to come along, that's a good idea, and then we've got to actually run the thing. But let's just go back to first principles with this. With this conference, we have one first-class citizen. We have our code of conduct, and that's like the linchpin that holds this whole thing together. So, our code of conduct is not only a requirement that you agree with it when you sign it to get a ticket, it's also the first thing that's on the slides in the morning. It's read out. So that's on both days. We make it clear that everyone's expected to abide by it. We make it clear how people can get in touch with the organisers if they feel that there's been in any way deviance from that. And also, we do take action against people. We have thrown people out of companies in the past. You were preaching. It's a real thing. So, let's go in order doing things. So, if we're going to do a conference, we need some people to speak at it. That's traditional. So, we do a whole bunch of outreach work to try and get as diverse a pool of speakers as we can. And one of the things that's a bit different with the DevOps conferences is we don't just want the same speakers that do all the other DevOps conferences. We don't want the same ideas, we don't want the same faces, we want new people, we want new ideas. We will take first-time speakers and put them on a stage in front of 400 people if they think they can do it and they've got something new to say. So, as well as ideas, we also want people from different backgrounds. So we will typically go on to a lot of the so-called represented groups at tech, to their meetups, and tell them about the event, to encourage them to put a proposal. The actual proposal system we use for London is actually again different to a lot of other conferences. When somebody puts a proposal in, it goes into a waiting area until the submission deadline is closed, and then we go through an anonymisation process. My friend Bob has written up exactly what we do here, but the same time we'll send you the slides out so you don't have to try and remember that. But basically, he has a bunch of scripts that will take out company names, take out people names, take out products, and then that anonymised list is disseminated amongst the organising committee to choose the talks. And we do that because we don't want any group biases creeping into the selection process. From that, we produce a shortlist, and then we have an organisers meeting where we take those shortlists and draw up our schedule for the event. Again, as I alluded to earlier, we want a diverse range of speakers, we want first-time speakers, we want new speakers, but we also want a very broad range of topics. Yes, we want technical talks, it is a technical conference, but by its nature we want talks about empathy, about emotional intelligence, as well as the tech. We don't just want tech ones. So if you look at the list of talks 2018, you'll see talks on neurodiversity, you'll see talks about emotional intelligence, but you'll also see ones about tech. So that's the kind of programme of events, the kind of topics we're trying to put together for this conference. So we now got our schedule. We've got people to come and talk, that's great. We should probably have some people turn up, otherwise it'll be a complete waste of time. So we should have some tickets. We do tickets a bit differently to other conferences by making them excessively cheap. So this is a 2-day conference in central London, in a big conference venue. Our tickets start at 99 quid. And I'm not doing the hotel sale site here, but we've got one of the cheap ones left on the website. If you want to get there quick, it's going to cost you another 50 quid. Yeah, the super early bird ones go, the early bird ones, and then we go to attending. We also have these things called supporter tickets, and these are expensive. And what we ask is if you work for a company that can afford to send you and pay more, then please do so, because we take the money you give us and we put it back into free tickets. So you'll notice at the top, there's 20 free tickets there. We give these tickets away to anyone who identifies as being in an underrepresented group in tech or on wage. And they're free. And also, when they get one of those tickets, it's done entirely on trust. We don't ask them why they want it, we don't ask them their background, we don't ask them to prove they're on wage, we just trust them. Last year, out of 400 attendees that went, we gave away 46 tickets. So we're giving away half of them, we probably will put another 20 on as we get near the conference. Okay. We'll go out to, again, to meetup groups, and we'll promote the event. Again, we go to all the trouble of getting out to a diverse range of speakers. We also want a very diverse audience there as well. So we will go to marginalised groups, meetups, and we will also try and promote there, as well as traditional marketing through social media and to previous attendees. Someone's got to pay for it though. It's quite pricey for another conference in central London, and that's why we need sponsors. Again, we do things a little bit differently with sponsors. It's a bit of a shock to our sponsors what we actually expect from them. Firstly, our badges don't have barcodes on them, we don't get scanned and ditted. In fact, you're actually expected as a sponsor to respect people's privacy and actually not go and hassle them and sell to them. We also want them to get involved with the conference. We want them to go to the open space discussions and learn and share, or sell, but learn and share. So they can bring their ideas and their wisdom from their products and also find out what potential customers are wanting. So that's a benefit for them. And of course, they are bound by the code of conduct. No exceptions there. That's the venue. You'll notice there's a big clock in the background. It's covered in scaffolding in a minute, which is a bit of a shame. But it's opposite Westminster Abbey. When I'm saying central London, it's central London. Nearest tube station is Westminster, so gives you some idea of where it is. We like this venue a lot, despite it looking a bit like a car park from the 1980s. It's actually really practical inside. In terms of actual accessibility to the venue for mobility and for visual and hearing impairments, it's got a lot of features built in, and that really aligns with what we're trying to achieve. But of course, as we've just heard from the previous talk, not all illnesses or disabilities are visible. We want two things really. We want, first, a whole area of space away from the sponsors' lounge, so that if you're at a conference, you've got somewhere to go, find a quiet corner, have a coffee, have a chat with people if you want, make those phone calls that people tend to do at conferences too. But we've also got a room dedicated as a quiet room, so if you really need to get away and just shut off for a bit, there's a space there to do it. We make one set of balloons gender neutral. This is possibly the cheapest diversity thing you can do for a conference, because it's 2 printouts. But it makes a massive difference. Firstly, for the attendees that wouldn't normally use a gender neutral loop, it puts into their psyche and into their thoughts that this is a diverse conference. This is a conference where people need to be inclusive, where you need to be considerate of your other attendees and think about how you act and what you say. And of course, if you're a member of the community that doesn't identify with social stereotypes on gender, this is a massive welcoming message to you. So it really is like one of the easiest things you can do, but one of the most allowed things you can do. Food, or more importantly coffee, is something we spend a whole load of money on at the conference. Yes, I've been to a conference and I've forgotten any of the talks, but I remember the food was terrible. We don't want people to say that. You've been there as well, you might be at the same one as me. But yeah, we've got a whole load of the budget into the food to make sure it's good and it's nice. But also we capture dietary requirements during the sign-up process, and then work with the catering team, the chefs at the event venue to make sure we're covering all bases and have meet everybody's requirements. We did make it a little bit of a mess about labelling this year. 2017 we did it right, 2019 we'll do it right. Childcare at a conference, yes, childcare at a conference. We offer it. It's not done by the volunteers that run it. We get proper nannies in. Okay, let's make sure that's out there. We've offered it for the last 2 years. It's been used once. That's okay. We've learned from other conferences like WordCamp and AltConf that by offering these services, word gets around and people start not necessarily expecting it, but they know it's going to happen. It must be really difficult to get to a conference in London if you need childcare, but you only need it while you're away. Well, we can help with that. So that removes a barrier for you going to the conference, which you perhaps might not go to. So, although we're not on a massive uptake on it, we expect that to increase in the future. I mentioned before about hearing impairments and visibility impairments. We have captioners and signers at the event. It's really cool to watch those little keyboards, like you think they have in courtrooms, and they live transcribe everything that's being said, and it appears on 2 screens inside the stage. And we also have, if needed, live signers who will sign the talks as well. The evening event, a little bit of a sticky subject. It's got a cool place, it's 30 floors up. It's got these panoramic views of London and landmarks, and it's really great. But at the same time, it's primarily people drinking, eating food and making lots of noise. Some people, that's not their idea of a good night out. We're looking at ideas of what we can do this year to be a bit different and offer a more broad range of activities at the event. TBC. Badges. Now, if you go to a normal conference, I say normal, if you go to a conference usually, you get your badge. Ours are different. First of all, I mentioned there's no barcodes on there to dip. You'll also note that they're not printed. Indeed, on this one, I've actually written my name myself, and I've used all the right letters in the right order, which is pretty good of me. I'll put my Twitter handle on there as well. But the actual colour of the lanyard and these stickers mean something. This is a message to other attendees about you. So the actual lanyard colour, if it's black, it means I'm okay with photos being taken. If it's yellow, please ask me if you can take a photo. If it's red, I don't want you taking a photo. And that applies to our official photographer who's done all these pictures, but it also applies to anyone with a camera phone in the place. We've got communication stickers. I've got a green triangle. That means I'm fine with people talking to me. Come and introduce yourself, I'll talk to you. The orange one means I would rather that I start the conversation with you. And the red one means please don't talk to me. And that's cool. If somebody doesn't like engaging in conversation with other people and finds that difficult, then that's all right. They can still come to the conference. And that gives them a degree of safety that they're not going to be harassed. That must be really comforting for them. And then we've got pronoun stickers as well. So people, when they start talking to you, can know how you'd like to be addressed. So the badges are very important. Okay, but yeah, we messed up with some stuff. We did get some stuff quite right. Pronoun stickers I mentioned just now. We didn't properly brief our volunteers, and some of them handed the stickers out based on their assumptions. Yeah, that didn't go down very well. We spotted that on social media. So if you are running an event and you're doing diversity inclusive measures, I suggest you keep the posts on social media for comments and feedback. We spotted the faux pas on Twitter, and we dealt with it online, and we also got our compere during one of the breaks to actually apologise to the crowd for it, explained we were volunteers, and we learned from that. We also made a little bit of a mess up with asking the audience about sign language signs and whether they needed them. Again, we apologised about that. And the thing we found is if we apologise, even on Twitter or live in person, we got a lot more respect from the audience. A lot of people who originally complained were really grateful that we'd apologised. So that was really nice. But despite these bad things, which can overshadow all the good stuff you do, you feel quite bad about messing up on some stuff. And a couple of the team members took that kind of thing quite bad and were quite upset about it. But it's important to remember that all the stuff we got right, all the hard work we put in. So the last open space of the final day, about a half an hour discussion, we ran as a retro. And a lot of people turned up and we collected good feedback, we collected bad feedback. And I suppose the overall arching thing was people were really impressed with all the D&I stuff we've done, and also really impressed with all the tech talks, the quality of them. So it was really nice to get that feedback that we've done a good job, as well as all the criticism we've got prior to that. Criticism, we needed to do more outreach, we needed to try and expand the diversity of the audience even more than we had done, and we knew we needed to do that, and we continued to do that. But also, I think the fact that it was a little bit echo chamber, a lot of people only found out about the event at the last minute, so we need to do more in promoting the event as well. So for 2019, what are we going to do? Well, like I said, we did a load of stuff right. We need to keep on doing that and make sure that we repeat all the good things we do and don't forget them. We need to obviously fix things we didn't get right and not let it discourage us, because even if we're trying to do things that perhaps other conferences wouldn't do, and we've got a little bit of criticism for it, doesn't mean we shouldn't be doing it, we shouldn't give up on those things. We need to do outreach, again, for CFP and for the actual event, to make sure that we're even more diverse, and make sure that we're not just marketing to the echo chamber of the DevOps community. Just a note on my thoughts, this space I pulled many times during the discussion. We have a weekly kind of like hangout video where 10 of us discuss what we're going to do for about an hour. I pulled that face on several occasions, particularly when somebody wanted a petting zoo. Really did. Yeah, we decided against that. But some of the things that we did that I've mentioned tonight, I suppose I was a little bit sceptical of. And if you sat down in the audience and you're listening to some of these things, and you're thinking, well, a lot of effort for not a lot of gain. Well, having done them, I can tell you that I'm so pleased we did all of them. Every single one of the things we did. I'm also really pleased with the fact we got them right. We did what we did. I'm really kind of like annoyed, now I've done it, that more events aren't doing this kind of stuff. I can forgive community events because of, the amount of time it takes. And, people go out on a team with 10 volunteers working for 9 months on events. That's fair enough. But particularly if you're at a paid event that you're putting money into, that a corporation can afford to do this stuff, I don't see why not. I'm really now beginning to believe that this kind of stuff should be the normal at conference, and it should be expected. It shouldn't be the exception. Because if we're doing this at these kind of events, I really believe that some of those ideas will be taken back to people's offices and workplaces, and it will spread, and it will encourage the diversity talk, and it will encourage things to change out there in the industry. Because it shouldn't be a barrier to go to a tech conference because you're not middle-aged like that. You really shouldn't. So, with that, we're doing it again. As I say, we've got one cheap ticket left. You might come along and see what we do. If you come along to, I dare say I will be at several meetups in Sheffield over the coming months, possibly giving away tickets, especially the Devops meetup. Because although we're trying to reach outside the echo chamber, we love the echo chamber. There's the URL, there's the dates. I don't know if you notice it, right at the top corner, the right at the very top. It's very faint, it's like a red star. I'm sure we'll make it out. Our CFP's open. If you know anyone that is from an underrepresented group in tech, or might not normally think that putting in a submission to a conference would actually get taken seriously or accepted, I'd encourage them to do so. And off the back of that, I hope everybody knows about this. It's happening on the 2nd of March. If you're a member of an underrepresented group or a marginalised group in tech, this is workshops designed to let you learn how to write talk, how to write a proposal to get it accepted. In Leeds, we're doing a full-day workshop. There's Luke who runs the house group, they're organising it. We did have Katie Fenn, she can't do it anymore. We've got Chad, we've got Jay Mitchell, there's me there. We've got a couple of people in Sheffield at the university running an event. And Louise, who's part of the organising team for DevOpsDays London, she's this big player in the WIT Nottingham group. She's running an event down there, so if you look further south in Sheffield, you might want to consider that. But I think that's really important. I think if you're going to tweet anything out, or you're going to take a screen grab, or you're going to shout about anything from my talk, shout about that. This is very important. And with that, that's the end of my slides. I hope you enjoyed that. If you've got some ideas, maybe you can take them back to where you work or whatever you do during your day job and spread some of the ideas. So thank you very much.